Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man.
All right, Carly, why can I throw a mid-range farther than my drivers? Dang. Is it my form or the way the disc is coming out? Any tips on how to fix it?
I guess it somewhat depends on, I don't know if it's a problem, but it depends on what drivers you're throwing too.
Yep.
Could be something a little more overstable, so you're not getting the right distance out of it. I can throw a lot of my mids. Obviously not as far as I can throw my drivers, my distance drivers, but as far as I can throw a lot of my fairways.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and Danny and I talked about this a little bit last time, and he said something I think is that there's probably a couple of solutions to it, but if you're throwing your mids about as far as your distance drivers, then the most likely culprit is that you're throwing the disc too nose up.
mm-hmm.
Nose up is a distance killer. That means that once the disc, if you can see the stamp while the disc is flying, then that disc is nose up and it's not going to fly to its full potential. Something like a mid-range, which has a more rounded nose and is spinning a little bit slower, won't be affected quite as strongly by a nose up release as a driver will, because it's spinning faster and wants to, if you don't get it up to speed, it's going to get to the ground. So I would focus on getting that nose down a little bit more, and then just develop your arm speed by just field work and making sure that that your release is flat. You can actually follow through up, which will help the disc to be released nose down, as long as you're not just following through straight up to the sky. You don't want to be swooping your arm in the middle, which that's usually what happens when people reach back high to follow through high.
Mm-hmm.
There's it kind of forms like a U shape, and that causes people to toss it too high.